quick. So we've got YouTube as our next platform that I want to cover real fast. I'm gonna go through these pretty quick. I think Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn are the ones that you can really crush it at as a local service business or a small business, or even on the e-commerce side, they can be helpful as well. But those are the three ones that to me are major league for posting. Now that doesn't mean that these next three I'm going to show can't be where you build your audience and build your platform, but they are the ones that to me have the most community appeal, that you can really connect with people and produce a lot of content for. But the next one I'm going to pull up real fast is YouTube. The reason why I want to show YouTube is because YouTube, first of all, is the second biggest search engine in the world, with the first one being Google. And so with that being said, YouTube, for anyone that's in the educational realm, which technically could be any business depending on your approach, YouTube can be extremely powerful. In fact, that's, as you can see, why we're using it. And so with that being said, YouTube, the way YouTube really works is focusing in purely on teaching and helping people. Now, yes, you could do some type of show or video podcast or something like that, and those can be helpful as well. But the big thing that YouTube gets a ton of subscribers on is their how-to videos. So if you're in the dental world, you can do videos on different types of dental implants, or if you're in the plumbing world, you can go through the difference between a regular water heater and a tankless water heater. Roofing, you can go through the different types of asphalt shingles or tile roofs. All these things are the types of videos that actually get a lot of audience. Now, the only reason why I didn't prioritize YouTube in this is because a lot of those educational videos can be helpful, but if your target market is not national and it's local, those how-to videos, you can post them on YouTube and get them out to people on YouTube, but I would always share those videos onto your Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, just to make sure you're also hitting a market that is relevant to you. Because if you don't do business with people in Arkansas because you're in North Carolina, then you definitely don't want to sit here and focus all your energy on YouTube, because a lot of your audience is going to come from a broader, wider location. So YouTube, the big things with that: create your channel, start coming up with how-tos, things you can teach people on, invest into some equipment. We'll go over another video later on the best equipment for YouTube, and that's really going to be your main focus right there. Now, real briefly, I'm going to go over Twitter. Personally, I do have a biasness. I don't like Twitter. But on the same time, I have seen it be very successful. It's usually more successful for singular influencers, but there are companies, especially big brand companies, that have a lot of luck with Twitter. Because the one thing with Twitter that is different than any other platform is the fact that Twitter allows you to really see communication with your customers right there in front of you. People will mention and sub-mention and retweet each other, and in the process of that's allowing people to really connect and really have this back and forth right there for a public audience. So Twitter can be helpful. You can tweet as much as you want because it is a very fast-paced platform, but the limitations on Twitter is it's less characters than what you can do on Facebook and Instagram. People are really more in a conversation. It's a conversation-based platform, so it's less about just how-tos and teaching people, but Twitter can be helpful in that regard. If you do have a national approach, or you are very vocal in what you guys do, you really have a message that you want to communicate back and forth with people, Twitter could be a jam for you. Now, the last platform I want to highlight is Pinterest. Pinterest itself is a very visual based platform, kind of like Instagram. The cool thing about Pinterest is it allows people to repin stuff. So you can see something maybe over on Google or Twitter and pin it onto a Pinterest post. So the posts really, really cover a wide range of interest. I truly believe using platforms like later, and we will go over that later on. And that wasn't supposed to be punny, but if you use a platform that you can post on Pinterest and Instagram at the same time, I suggest it, because Pinterest has a wide range of topics. It has a heavy user base of females 35 and up, and which are big chunk of the decision makers in the residential market and for home type services. And at the same time, the cool thing about Pinterest is with Pinterest you could really target in on all the same things that you do on Instagram or YouTube, even with how-tos and suggestions and tips. But you don't have to do it in a way that's only posting to your people, because Pinterest is pulling in content from all over the platform. So you really can have a wide reach without ever really paying for any type of Pinterest ads. The last thing I want to make mention on Pinterest is if you do sell anything online, you better use Pinterest, honestly, because the e-commerce section of Pinterest is its most powerful feature, and you can literally sell things directly on Pinterest without even using your website. So with all that being said, just to kind of go back and do kind of a last conclusion overview. You've got Facebook. Facebook's good for your community. Facebook's good for targeting people 25 and up, and Facebook's good for really, really doing that human-to-human approach. You've got Instagram. Instagram is really powerful for visual aspects. It has a younger based audience, but the audience is getting older by the day. So Instagram has a great way of engaging. You can connect with people, and with hashtags can really reach a wide audience. With LinkedIn, if you're trying to connect with other professionals, there's no other better platform. And so with LinkedIn, you can really take that business professional approach, and it's very powerful. On YouTube, it's a education platform. It's very helpful for teaching people. Twitter is really helpful for keeping communication and conversation. And Pinterest, as we finish off, is great for products and great for visual reach. So to finish this whole thing off as one closing deal, I do want to make mention. Here's the thing. You don't have to use every platform. Use the ones that are the most convenient and make the most sense for you. Second thing is content is king. But be creative. So when you're posting every day, come up with cool ideas. Be creative. Don't just tell people to come do business with you. Everyone's saying that. And the third thing I was going to say is really experiment. You may find out that Twitter is way better than what Sam says. And if that's the case, you wouldn't know unless you try it. So experiment with the different platforms, and you're really going to come to a conclusion of figuring out exactly what's the best for you guys. But the only way you're going to do that is you start posting, you start creating, and you really engage and see where it takes you. Then for all you know, maybe TikTok really is your jam. But I left that one off for a reason, because that one is in the making right now. But all that being said, maybe a year from now, there's 3 other platforms that are also powerful. So we'll do an update. But until next time, reach out if you have any questions, and we are more than happy to provide as much advice as we can for free. So thank you, and best of luck with your social media.